Hi, my name is Jocelyn Moreno, and I'm a bioengineering student here at UIC. For my CS 109 project, I looked at the socioeconomic indicators in Chicago. Dataset that I found was on the City of Chicago webpage for the Health and Human Services Department. It looks at the different communities in Chicago and the socioeconomic indicators that are found in them. For example, the percent of housing crowded in that specific community, percent of households below the poverty line, percent of individuals aged 16 and over that are unemployed, percent of people aged 25 and over with no high school diploma, percent of people aged under 16 and over 64, percent capita income and hardship income, and the data set looks like this. And the reason that I chose this data set is because I'm interested in how socioeconomic backgrounds can vary in a large city like Chicago, and how we can take data like this and use it to be able to improve the quality of life in disadvantaged communities. So this is my code, and when you call it, you get a menu bar where you can choose the different analysis types, and you can choose housing crowding, and another menu pops up and you can actually choose to find a area. So if we choose to look at the percent crowding in Rogers Park, it comes up with the percent housing crowding in Rogers Park is 7.7%, and this is greater than the average of 4.92 in all of Chicago. Similarly, you can choose to see a chart for this, and it shows you the percentages that people live in percent housing crowding and the frequency that this may happen. So the distribution of percent crowding in Chicago. So you can see that most people live in 2 to 3% crowding in those specific areas. So move on to poverty. Similarly, you can choose to find an area. So this time we might want to look at Lincoln Park. And then Lincoln Park, 12.3% of households live below the poverty line, and this is smaller than the average of 21.77. We can also choose to see the highest 10 or the lowest 10 areas that live in poverty, so we can choose highest, and this bar graph comes up that shows the areas with the highest percent poverty, and the area names correspond to these numbers right here, and it shows the actual percent poverty in that specific area. We can also look at education and how that correlates with poverty. So say we choose a threshold of 20%, we can see that 35 areas live above poverty threshold and 35 areas live above the educational threshold. So that means that 35 areas are 20% and over above the poverty line, well, below the poverty line, and then 33% of the 33 areas that are looked at 20% and over have no high school diploma. And both 21 of these areas meet both of those thresholds. So we can see the different areas that meet those two thresholds. You can also look at educational and poverty chart. So in here, it looks at how education and poverty are related. So for example, I sorted the data for poverty and then use the line of best fit for education to show the relationship between both of them. So as the percent of poverty increases, the percentage that people have no high school diploma also increases with that in specific communities. This is the code, and that is it.